Welcome to the San Diego Opera Podcast. I'm Nic Reveles, your host, and I'm delighted today to welcome to the podcast tenor Joel Sorensen, singing the role of the witch in Hansel and Gretel. Welcome back.
Happy to be here.
It's so cool to have a good friend come back from time to time.
It's like coming home.
It really is, because you've been singing here for quite some time. How long? When was your first gig here?
I think 1999 was, I think this is my 14th, maybe 15th appearance.
So some of the roles that you've essayed over the years might be...
I debuted with Carlisle of Mice and Men, and then I did Andras and Wozzeck, and Tybalt and Romeo and Juliet. I've done Pan and Pung in Turandot. Caius and Falstaff.
Oh, right.
Spoletta and Tosca.
So lots of character roles.
Tybalt in, Romeo and Juliet,
And that's your area.
Yeah, right? I sort of started here kind of as a feature singer and then sort of moved into some character things and back and forth. So,
do you enjoy that?
The character work?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because depending on who the director is, it can be a lot of fun. Some give you a lot of freedom to create and to work.
Sure.
And I've been very fortunate in that regard. So I've been kind of given free rein to create, and sometimes they rein you back in, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but it's always exciting when I sit in on the rehearsal process to see singers go further.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
and then
you
have to be pulled back a little bit on occasion, not very often. Usually it's really kind of exciting when a singer does that and they sort of take ownership of the character, of the role.
Yeah, early in my career I didn't do that so much. In the early rehearsals, I kind of was waiting to get to the floor plan before I put the character into it. And I found that really frustrated a lot of directors. And then suddenly you pour it on. It was, where did that come from?
Yeah,
so I've kind of learned to gradually be more assertive in that respect. So.
Well, speaking of characters,
yes,
this is so interesting because in my experience, the witch has always been a soprano, and on occasion a mezzo-soprano.
Right.
I have never experienced the witch as a tenor, although I was aware of the tradition. And in fact, if memory serves, I think it goes back to the composer that there's this one line in the Grove Dictionary of Opera that says that the role can be sung either by a soprano or a tenor. But that's all it says. It's so unusual. I mean, we're familiar with trouser roles,
right?
Where mezzo-sopranos,
but skirt roles
the skirt role where a male singer is portraying a female character. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I tried to find some historical backing on it myself a while ago, and it was sort of difficult to find, which you would have thought with the glory of Google and the internet would be. But I know that the first time I saw Hansel and Gretel, I was a small child, and my parents had taken me up to Cleveland with my brothers and sisters to see Hansel and Gretel at the Met. And I believe that the witch then was a tenor. And I remember that production, not so much the voices, I was a little young for that, but I remember the trees moving, and I remember the witch flew. And so it became sort of, that's a memory in my head. And then I was really privileged to cover Graham Clark when he sang the Welsh National Opera production at San Francisco. And Graham was a little late because he was working somewhere else, so I was able to do the first 2.5 weeks of rehearsal. So that really let me sink my teeth into it.
Right.
That's been quite a while ago. And so it's after that little taste, it's been champing at the bit to do it again.
Yeah. And
so this is really something I've been looking forward to.
When I heard about the casting, I was so excited. First of all, that you would be coming back.
Thank you.
But secondly, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrific. That it's going to be sung by a tenor, and it's a tenor I know, and I can talk to about this.
So there's an element of. This is, of eagerness. There's also an element of anxiety about it.
Sure. Well, I mean, are there any adjustments in the notes, first of all? Is it note for note the same?
I believe so,
tenor?
yeah.
It's just an octave lower.
It's just an octave lower, right. Yeah. And so it's I like it. I mean, I've had debates with colleagues about this, particularly sopranos who enjoy singing it. But what I like about it is that it adds another color to the palette. It's a different timbre because you have Hansel and Gretel, you have the mother, you have the Dew Fairy, the Sandman, the treble chorus. So it puts another male voice in there, which just gives adds another timbre.
Right, because the only other male voice is
the father.
The father, right.
So, and he's very low. So it's another color.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of it, and I like it because I get to play. It's word color and things like that, and I've been having a lot of fun finding little things to do. A little Julie Andrews here, a little Robert Goulet here, a little Lucille Ball, even just different things to kind of throw in there to really add character to it in a way. So.
Well, I was privileged to be here today for your first encounter with the costume.
The puppet,
now, you have to understand, folks, the costume is actually a puppet. So you're inside this puppet costume. And there's a puppeteer behind you.
And then I'm manipulating the hands of the witch.
Right.
So, which is interesting because
I was blown away because first of all I thought that you took to it pretty quickly.
Thank you.
But I think it also says something about the nature of the puppet itself. It's so well designed.
It is, and it
moves really, really well.
But it adds another layer that it becomes a technical issue now because there's weight that I'm not used to having. It's moving in concert with someone behind me who's wearing platformed boots, so I have to check my movement. I have to be. So it's really becomes a duet now.
Yeah.
Physically a duet.
Well, and she's got 4 hands.
Right.
That you're in control of.
And a puppet of her own that she's using with Hansel and Gretel.
Right.
Sort of as a mask.
Yeah.
So,
but I think the other element is that you have to connect and engage with other characters on stage.
Right. So it's conveying emotion, and we're going to have to map out very specifically movement, and then conveying emotion through a puppet and vocally.
And your voice.
Yeah. And so it's going to be interesting.
But not through your body in the way that you normally do.
In the way that I normally do.
Right.
So I'm finding that I have to really check myself in a way. So it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah. But physically, I think more than anything else.
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching you, and you were in the costume for maybe 15 minutes the first time you tried it on. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to get tired.
Yeah, my
physically
fingers started to tingle a little bit because it's gripping, moving. So I should have kept that gym membership. So start doing my push-ups again. It's going to be interesting. Really, an issue. Posture is so important for a singer. So it's going to be interesting dealing with the weight and finding a posture that works with the head above me, and it's a lot of different kind of movement. So it's going to be interesting.
And a position that will always allow your voice
to go out.
And
while so.
Oh, Joel.
It's going to be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
so,
but it's exciting. I've been playing a little bit of the B-roll that I took on my phone as you were rehearsing here with the ladies who were singing Hansel and Gretel, and a little bit of your first rehearsal, your first donning of the costume, and the effect is great.
Well, I want to see it, and I don't want to see it. So because I don't want to step out of it until I've figured out. But we worked in front of a mirror today, so that was helpful because I could sort of see just how far I had to reach to do certain gestures and things. And it's going to be a challenge because I'm used to doing things very immediately here, and I now have to try to do it with hands that are locked in position. And
bringing everything out.
And bring everything out and try to be expressive with hands not my own. I have to try to make them my own somehow. So, but we'll figure it out. It'll be good.
And not only that, but I stayed a little longer for rehearsal and noticed that all you cast members are also involved in flying some of the other puppets
Right,
as well.
so I get to be a bird.
So you've got a bird that you
Yes,
have to.
I have
on
to-
top of being the witch, you have to be a bird.
Yes. So whether I have to do any other animals, we'll see. But yeah, and it's interesting because it's a different kind of focus.
Yeah.
So as singers, you know, we concentrate so much on vocal production and text and, you know, conveying emotions and ideas.
Right.
And now, and there's a certain physicality to that, and this is a different physicality.
Yeah.
So it's, but it's fun. It's
I can't wait.
you hope you get your bird going in the right direction and keep him flying. So, but they're ingenious puppets, and
They're wonderful.
it's my colleague Ian who's wearing. I mean, he's got all the weight. I mean, these are heavy, but I imagine that's really heavy, and so he's carrying. So I have to, but we're going to map it out, and
Yeah.
so he's been Johnny on the spot thus far, and so.
Well, it's just going to be so much fun. Thank you for spending a little time with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
And welcome back to
It's
San
always-
Diego.
And pleasure to speak with you.
See you again.
Absolutely.
Okay.